Hi everyone, hope you guys are okay. Hope you guys have been fine. It's Alba again, and I would like to thank each and everyone who has just subscribed to the channel, who is new here. I am really humbled, and everyone who's commenting, everyone who's supporting me, thank you so much. And I just only pray that God blesses you for everything that you're doing for me, for the support, for the encouraging words, for the prayers, for each and everything, each and every little thing that you guys are doing. I really do appreciate it. For the people who are supporting me, the people who believe in me, the people who have been there for me from day one, it really means a lot. And I pray that you guys get whatever it is that your hearts desire, and God blesses you so much in your life endeavors. It really means a lot to me. And actually your support and your call out for me to be strong has kept me pushing. It has been really hard for me ever since I started doing the interviews, the challenges I'm facing with life, with my mental health as well, with the people around me, the changes, and it's a lot, and it's been hard for me to deal with at a certain point, but I've been pushing through, and I've been trying as hard as I could to find time and record something and talk about most of the things that people are asking me and need explanations about. So I would like to first say I'm really sorry for people who are out there that are going through mental health challenges, who are going through all sorts of abuses, domestic abuse, sexual abuse. It's a lot, and I am really sorry about your experiences. But I want to assure you, whatever it is that you're going through, whatever challenge it is that you're being faced or dealt with, it doesn't mark the end of your life. That's not where your life ends. That doesn't define you or where you're going or your life journey. It is just the challenges that we face, and you are not alone. A lot of people are going through these things, however much you may not know, however much they may not know, but they are pushing through. They are thriving through whatever it is they're dealing with. So I want you to know that you are not alone. Whoever is facing mental illness and they don't have anyone who they can relate to or have anyone to talk to, you can still talk to God, because he's the number one healer. However much we use medications, we go for therapy, if we don't turn back to the right person that gave us life, it is all for nothing. Because at the end of the day, we do these things, we take the medication, we do the therapy, we do the exercises we are told, but if we do not go back to God and ask him for peace, ask him for comfort, ask him for healing, ask him for each and everything that we need, we are doing all for nothing. And as well, the work comes back to you, because however much you are taking this medication, you are going for these therapy sessions, if you're not doing the work, if you are not letting your mind adjust to healing, adjust to accepting that you'll be okay, however much things are hard right now, it is all for nothing. And so first and foremost, I would like to thank each and everyone who has been reaching out and asking me to help them understand mental illness. Well, mental illness is a very huge thing. I cannot go about it in just one day, because my whole plan was sharing my life experiences from the bottom, like from where I started, from where it started, how I started, and I still plan to do this. It's only that I've been so caught up, I've been so busy, I've been dealing with a lot of things, but I plan to talk about things like my mental illness struggles from when I was young, and then how I found out and how I've been coping until today, because I have had mental illness challenges for almost 2 decades now, but I've been pushing through, and I want to share my experiences and how I've been dealing and how I dealt when I got suicidal, because a lot of people get through these challenges, and it is okay to feel suicidal. It's not fine, but it is okay, because because of whatever the experiences it is that you're going through, it pushes you to having these thoughts. But it doesn't mean you're going to commit suicide. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you or you're bewitched or anything. It's just an illness. Because when I always say, when you are dealing with mental illness, it's almost like having an accident. If you don't get treated, if you don't get the treatment, if you get an injury and you don't go for like fixing that injury, it keeps just, you just become lame or disabled at that point. And when you have mental illness and it keeps growing on you and you don't get the right treatment that you need, you don't get the right help, support, and guidance through whatever it is that you're dealing with, it just keeps growing and growing, and at a certain point you feel like you're pushed to the edge. You cannot take it in anymore because you have not gotten any help, and that is when you start getting these suicidal thoughts, wanting to give up. But I will continue talking about this. I'm going to continue going bits by bits, and hopefully very soon in my next video I'm going to talk about when I found out, when exactly I think my mental illness challenges started. And through that, like, I'll be going through, like, gradually going through my experiences and how I actually found out and what I did when I found out, and how I've been dealing and coping until today. And I want to assure you that you can be okay. It all depends on you. If you do not, because having mental illness is like being trapped or imprisoned somewhere where it is a lot of steps to getting out. And if you want to be okay, you can be okay. It all comes to your mind. If you keep crippling your mind and thinking this is the end, dealing with this and that, I'll not be okay, something is wrong with me, you're just putting yourself down and you're just accepting, you're telling your mind to give up. You're giving up with your mind, and once the brain is shutting down, it's losing positivity, it's losing track on whatever it is that you are supposed to be moving forward with, you just keep going down. And a lot of people have been reaching out to me who have been going through a lot of different mental experiences and asking me, like, how do you know you have mental illness? How do you know? Well, the most common the most common issue when it comes to mental illness is depression, and then anxiety, and then I think the bipolar disorder, which I'll try to explain according to my knowledge. I'm not an expert, I didn't go to school to study these things, but I have learned in my own way, and I can talk about these things. But the most common one is depression. And whenever you feel like you are facing certain emotions that are not going away, and just seeing something like being constant on you, because it's okay to be sad, it is okay to feel not right, it is okay to feel down, it is okay to feel like all sorts of things. But when you see these things are gradually continuing on, you're not feeling better, you're not feeling yourself, you're actually being fatigued, you're feeling all sorts of kinds of ways, I'll continue to talk about these things. That's when you know, like, something is actually bothering your mental state. When you feel like you can't take it anymore, when you feel like you don't understand yourself, your moods are on and off all the time and it doesn't get better, that is when you know something is really not right. And the best part of having these issues is knowing what you're dealing with, actually, because just like they always encourage people, go for HIV testing, go and find out. Even with COVID, they tell you, go and find out and know what it is that you're actually really dealing with, because it's always hard to be battling with certain challenges or sicknesses when you do not know what exactly it is. So the best part of, like, having mental illness is finding out that you do have mental illness. And once you find out, you can start knowing on which steps to take, on how I'm going to heal, how I'm going to be better. Because when you do not know, you're just speculating and second guessing and thinking this and that, and you're just there unsure of what it is that you're having, just like they say, go for the HIV test. Once you find out, you can already start the process of, like, getting better, start the process of, like, getting treatment so that you can be better. Because when you do not know, you can't really know what you're treating. You can't treat typhoid with malaria treatments, and you can't treat cancer with HIV treatment. So it's the second guessing thing is not always good. So it is always great, and it's a good. I'm glad and happy for the people who have reached out and had actually discovered that they had a mental illness challenge or mental illnesses, and they found out, because that is the best part. And another thing is the hardest thing about, like, actually I myself, I'll speak for myself, the hardest thing I've actually experienced is being around people that do not understand, people like me, that do not understand what it is. The others think they do understand because they have been dealt with almost certain similar situations, or they've been through sorts of, like, actually some people mistake a period of feeling sad or a period of loss for being like having a mental illness issue or being with depression or being sad, being depression. It's a whole lot of confusion going on, and a lot of people who do not know what mental illness really is, and a lot of people who do not know what it is or what it feels like to be sexually abused or abused in any way. They don't know, like they really don't know, and they don't have the patience to give someone who is dealing with these illnesses. I've had a lot of people, a couple of people actually, who have approached me, and they most of them refer to me as the person that I talk about on TV, or the person that I was before when I was like dealing with whatever it is that I was dealing with when I was faced with the challenges of sexual abuse. And a lot of people do not understand, like, how can something happen to you and then happen to you again? Well, the whole thing is, like I said, if you do not get treatment, how are you going to get better? It's like when you get an injury, if you do not treat it, if you have a twisted leg, how is it going to get better if you do not go for the physical therapy or whatever it is that you need to get better? How? And that is actually what I was dealing with. I was mentally sick from a very young age, and I grew up thinking that I am fine. I never got any treatment. I always took everything to myself, and I came out in the world where I didn't know I wasn't fine, and I was dealing with people that were fine. And these people, of course, just like you see people on the streets, like the lame people on the streets who have babies, you would think like these people that rape them and have babies, they would continuously go to rape them or do whatever it is that they do to them, because they know they are helpless. They can't fight for themselves. And actually that is the vulnerable situation I was in. I encountered several torturing situations, several challenges and horrifying things, because I never got the help. I came out in the world and I didn't know that I was not fine, and I just kept going and making mistakes and leading myself to the wrong places I shouldn't have been going to, because I never got that help until I decided trying to figure out things on my own. And a lot of people come here and want me to be fine, and they're telling me, get yourself out of the past. Like, I have been dealing with mental illness for over 20 years. I've been dealing with these things for someone to come into my life right now and be like, I want you to be fine, and I want you to know that this is that. And it's like almost like testing someone with fire. Someone has been burnt, and then you're testing them with fire and telling them fire burns. Like, people don't know how to handle people with certain conditions. Say, like, if I was sexually abused, I don't want to be triggered with issues or with any conversations or with anything that has to do with sexual things if I am not comfortable to do so, because you do not know what you're saying. You don't know whatever it is that you're saying, whatever it's, your words, you do not know what your words are doing to me or are making me feel, because I am in a process of healing, and everyone needs their own time to heal. It is always hard whenever someone comes to you and says, I was in this situation, I was there before, I felt like this before, and I know how it feels, but you feel better with time, and just let it go. And actually, a lot of people just tell you, let it go. Like, you do not know what you're telling me to let go. I have been carrying this load for almost 20 years of my life, and I dealt with everything on my own, and I dealt with being around people that I actually tried to explain to what I was going through, and they made me feel worse, because most of the times the challenges that we face are actually made worse by the people around us. So a lot of people around us can help us heal or can make us worse, and for me, the people around me were keeping on making me worse. Even with the closest immediate people around me, they were just making me worse. So for someone to come and tell me, forget everything that you have been through, just forget. Like, how can I forget? How can I erase almost 20 years of pain, almost 20 years of misery in just one day, in just 1 hour? Like this, you're telling me to forget, and you're telling me this is not going to happen. Like, come on. Like, we need to understand what this is. I keep telling people, like, people coming to me and telling me, it actually also relates to people out there who are going through challenges, and then people want them to be fine there and then. How can you tell a lame man to run? Or how can you tell someone who had an accident and they couldn't walk, they can't walk, and you're telling them to run? It is a process. You go through processes of healing, like therapy and treatments and all sorts of, like, they give you time and tell you, you know what, give yourself this time. And when you start, you're going to start by using the walking sticks, and you after the walking sticks, you start having someone hold you, and after someone holding you, you're going to use this, and with time you will start walking, and after walking you will start running. But someone would come and tell you to run right there and then. Like, I have been dealing with a mental issue that has affected my whole entire life, and in just one day someone wants you to forget. People don't want to be patient. People want to use their experiences to be the same as yours, because we are different people. A lot of people go for treatment, and some it helps and others it doesn't help. So for you to relate your situation with mine, it doesn't really make sense. For you to relate your situation with someone else's situation, it doesn't really make sense, because you do not know how heavy it weighs on the other person. Like, people, like, a lot of people, like, keep trying to say, I want you to feel okay around certain things. I want you to feel okay around this and that. I want you to get used to this. Like, it is not in your power or saying for someone to heal. It is not. It is their time. You need to give them time. We need to give people time to heal, if it takes whatever time it takes. And actually, let me just say, the surrounding that you give them helps them heal more. If you give them this comfort, where, like, you give them a white path, not a dusty path. When you give them a white path that shows, like, there is safety where you're going, there is safety, like, you're safe here, and not confusing them with this and that, like bothering them with their healing process. It just keeps them, like, in a space where, like, can I trust this place? Can I be okay with this place? Because you're trying them. They know fire burns, and then you're telling them, I want you to be okay with fire. You're trying them with fire. It doesn't really make sense. We need to be patient, because healing, when it comes to mental illness, healing takes time. It takes time. No one really knows how actually heavy this thing is. No one. Only those people who have dealt with depression, who have dealt with anxiety, who have dealt with a stress disorder, who have dealt with insomnia, know what it is to deal with these issues. Because for me, I have been suffering with anxiety, and I think it affected my sleep, my sleeping ways. It affected my appetite, and actually gave me other health conditions that I'm trying to battle with. And all of these things is actually a process to get to know and a process to heal from. And a lot of people don't want to have that patience to understand these things. And a lot of people will compare you. A lot of people like to compare situations. I hate this thing. I'm sorry to use the word hate, but I really, really hate when someone says, oh, you should feel better because other people are worse. Or you should feel like, there's a way they bring it. For me, yes, I do agree. You can use what other people are going through to feel better and know, like, I am not the only person. But don't bring it as a way you're telling someone you shouldn't feel bad because other people are feeling bad. Well, and some people, like, give me, like, they give examples of, like, you see someone who's on the streets lame, they can't walk. At the end of the day, this person on the streets, somehow, I'm not saying all of them are fine, I'm having a mental stability that I do not have, or another person does not have. So it is a challenge for you. Like, it is not easy for you to compare these situations, because everyone has their own burdens. Everyone has their own illnesses and heavy loads that they are carrying. And however much there is similarity, there's those that are way worse, or there's those that are not so worse. It just depends on how heavy it weighs on someone, and you just comparing the situations, that it doesn't make sense. What I think is to acknowledge the pain of someone. The best way to deal with someone who is dealing with challenges, mental illnesses, or any problem is acknowledging what they are going through and trying to make them feel better. But first, by acknowledging, don't sound judgmental, don't sound confrontational, and being rude to them, like you shouldn't feel bad. A lot of people are way worse. A lot of people are suffering. Like, it doesn't really help someone heal. It actually just makes them way, way worse, because this person just only needs understanding and comfort. That's the only way to deal. That's the only way to start a process. That's the only way to start a process of helping someone who is dealing with mental illness. And like, I always keep telling people to always mind, I always keep sharing this, that always mind the people that you share with your challenges. A lot of times you get desperate and you want to talk to whoever it is that has given you an ear to listen to whatever challenges is that you're going through. But always be mindful about the people that you share your challenges with, because a lot of people take advantage of victims who are, whenever there are some people who are built to, I won't even say built, but there are some people who are just there to, whenever they see a person who is vulnerable, a person who is helpless, a person who is desperate, and most of the times we do not actually see these things in ourselves, and we just go out there like looking for people to talk to, looking for refuge, because I have been there. Always be cautious and careful about who you share your problems with, where you share your problems with from, because a lot of people will be like, oh, you feel bad, why don't you come to my place, let's talk about things, and you being in a desperate situation, you would think this person is understanding whatever it is that you're going through and they want to help you, which is not the case, because just like I said, a lot of people take advantage of people who are helpless. If you are helpless and desperate, they will take advantage of you, and always try to find the perfect place, not the perfect, but always try to find the right place to share your problems, the right place to take refuge in or comfort. I never really emphasize on this. Like, most of the times we do, feeling better is about speaking out whatever it is that you're going through, and you do not always have to talk to your friends, because a lot of people have come to me and told me they talk to their friends and their friends ridicule them, they talk about them, they make fun of them. But it actually is, you can really talk to I actually take this as it's something I used to exercise, however much it didn't work so well for me. Most of the times talking to a stranger actually really does help, because this person is not going to, he or she doesn't know you and is not going to talk about you anywhere. So I tell people, if you're going through a certain kind of challenge and you do not have an immediate place or person to go to, try to find a stranger that is of course you have to be careful of who the stranger is and where you find the stranger, because I'm not saying go out in the streets and bump into people and be like, I want to talk to you. So it always is helpful, like maybe in a church that you do not usually go to, you can just find someone that you can share with, and just sharing helps, talking about issues that you're going through, because I once was going through like a lot of mental illness challenges. Like, I was going through depression, I was going through anxiety, and I was being suicidal, and someone just walked into my place of work and I just told her about whatever it is that I was going through, and actually this person was really, really helpful to me. So a lot of times, like, not everyone you share with is going to actually really do help you, but the fact that you're sharing and putting this load that you're having off a little bit to someone, it would help you. But as well, be careful who the person that you're talking to is and where you're sharing your issues with from, because all that matters. Like I said, people take advantage of people who are helpless and desperate, and most of the times you may not see it, but it is happening to you. So for now, like, I just wanted to share that little thing, like those little things and the message, and I am going to find time and start like talking about my mental illness challenges that I faced, and how it started, how I found out, and how I kept dealing with it, and how I coped with all of that. And then as well, like, about sexual abuse. Like, this is actually a very huge challenge out here. A lot of young people are being sexually abused, and the saddest thing is that our systems are not going to help us. But like I keep telling people, when you watch these things, share it with your friends. You never know who it could help, because I have discovered that a lot of young girls, a lot of young people, even boys actually, are being abused through the social media. Like, are being faced with different challenges over social media. a lot of people meet people on social media that they don't even know, and they trust them and then end up getting hurt. So share this with your friends, and all these messages that I keep sharing, like my experiences, because I'm still sharing my experiences with people that I've had, encounters that I've had, that I feel like should be shared and should be known, so that it helps anyone out there who could also be faced with the same challenge and actually be helped by watching whatever it is that I'm saying. So whenever you watch these things, please continue like sharing these things, keep talking to people about these things, and keep like, you never know what it is the person next to you or the people around you are dealing with. So just share these things. It costs not so much to share these things actually. So share these things through, continue subscribing. Those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I want to really bring awareness to mental illness. I want to actually make a difference, and I am really trying. This is something that I'm trying to build up to do, to at least help people out there who are going through these challenges and they don't know what to do, they don't know who to talk to, they don't know who can understand them. And there's something I'm trying to build, and hopefully with your prayers it does really work out, because in our system, in our country, it is really hard, because a lot of the things that make sense, things like this, are not given like opportunity, are not given chance or ear. It is very hard to find an easy platform to share these things in our society, whereas they give things that don't matter a lot of like attention. But I am trying my best, and with your prayers, please pray for me. I'm planning out to do something to help people with mental illnesses and people who are dealing with sexual abuse, domestic abuse, and all domestic violences and all those issues. Like, I really want to make a difference with these things, and hopefully God helps me and my plans follows for my plan to follow through. And with that being said, let me say thank you very much to everyone who is watching me, everyone who's supporting me, everyone who shares actually. Thank you so much for the support, for the prayers. May God bless you, may God keep you, and whoever is dealing with these mental illness issues, you can be okay. Because if you look at me and if you know my experiences, and I am still here, I'm still standing, you can also be fine. Well, life has a lot more to offer besides whatever challenges it is that you're facing. So keep pushing through, keep being strong and believing, telling your mind that you'll be okay. The minute you start telling yourself, I am not going to be okay, something is wrong with me, or this or that, that is actually you giving up. But if you keep pushing through and knowing whatever it is that you're fighting, you will beat, you can actually beat it. So, and whoever has been dealt with sexual abuse or anything like that, I want you to know that this is a horrible thing to go through, but it is done. You can move forward, and actually moving forward with positivity, moving forward with grace. You can as well be fine. You can forget the trauma. I've tried to forget the trauma, and I feel better. And I want you to know you are your best support system. You are your best everything, because at the end of the day, we share with people, we talk to people, we do this and that. Like, we bring people close to us, but they are not going to always be there for us as much. So at the end of the day, it leaves you, and it leaves you with only God. So keep trusting God, keep being prayerful, keep being strong in everything that it is that you're dealing with. You can be okay from, just like I am trying to be okay, however much I have faced a lot of challenges. But I kept trusting God, and I kept pushing myself to being okay until this day. So thank you so much. May God bless you. Keep well, and please stay safe and take care. Continue subscribing and sharing the comments. It's all like encouraging and nice. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. Bye.